That's what I'm saying. Welcome. Hello, everybody. It is Diana and I talking about the Sagittarius new moon and the 12/12 portal tonight. Um, we have three people. Hi, everybody who's here. Nice to see you. Please forgive me if my internet messes up. Diana's already aware of it, and she'll take the lead. So, how are you feeling this new moon? This is the last new moon of the year.
Well, my Sagittarius moon is very delighted.
Zoe's here. Hi, Zoe. Here's my baby. How are you doing? I hope Zoe's doing okay. Well, this is a good moon to have. And Zoe has a Sagittarius moon also. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
So when we had the Gemini full moon, it was at the same degree as my Sagittarius moon. And now I'm Gemini, so I was born under a full moon. So here we are celebrating my full moon, which I did earlier today because my moon is at 4 degrees.
So you already had that fun.
And it was probably at 4 degrees through the middle of the night. Something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't do all the paperwork on that because I was more concerned with trying to find accuracy for tonight's exact moment. And the closest I could get was 71 at 7:32. So shortly, in about the next half hour, it's going to be in close range. It'll be at 20 degrees and 36 minutes. And the sun itself is at 20 degrees and 44 minutes. So it's right in there that it's going to be exact. But it went into 20 degrees at 6:32. So if you don't get exact with the minutes, if you don't purify it, you can say that the range is going to be from 6:32 until about 8:10, something like that.
Yeah.
And it'll go into another degree while the sun lags behind. It'll get ahead of the sun.
So on the last new moon of the year, it's about, well, what have we been saying all year? Do your releasing first, because we're certainly not done releasing, because the last new moon was Scorpio. And it has been, I don't know about anybody else, but I've just been kind of just releasing and really not here. I don't even know.
Well, you got to take a trip. That was a good way to release some of, you just had a whole lot of busy stuff happen all at one time.
I mean, it's been a beautiful, experience, but I did need that few days off.
Yeah, you did. But you had to move. You suddenly got extremely busy as an astrologer, and you lost Buddy. So that was a lot to deal with at one time, and it all happened all at once.
Yeah, it did. It's been crazy year. It's been and the thing Diana and I've been saying all year since
2019
yeah, really, it is all about going in, releasing. Sagittarius is a visionary. They're the prophets. They really are. Like, there's probably, I think, a lot of you are going to get a lot of downloads this month, getting a lot of information about where's your next path, what does it all consist of, right? But as we release to empty out the space so we can receive the download, so we can receive more of the light. Next month is going to be powerful, and I'm sorry to jump right to it, but like when Pluto and the sun move into Aquarius on the same day, January 20th, and Mercury comes out of shadow degree. So he's starting forward from a new point. That's all in one day. And we're going to have a show on that because wow. But as we've been saying all year, go in, especially this fall and winter. It was about going in, really understanding, feeling through what it is that makes your heart smile. Because once we know what that is, we can get on the path. Don't you think?
Yes. And it's a portal. It's 12-12.
Yeah.
And so if we work the numerology for it, 12 and 12 is 24.
Mm-hmm.
24 reduces to 6. 12 reduces to 3. And so we have 12, 12 giving us the 3, 6, 9. But when we add the year 2023, oh my gosh, I just realized that earlier I did numerology for 20.
I wasn't gonna say
retrograde. Yes, it's affecting me early.
Yeah.
So anyways, 12 and 12 is 24. And 2 and 0, you don't add. It's the 2. You drop the 0. So 2 to 23 this year becomes 25. And that 25 added to this 24. This sounds better, doesn't it?
I'm going with you.
Is 39, which reduces to, right? Am I doing the math right? Help me out here.
Hold on. 24 and 25? 49.
49. And
Okay.
4 and 9 reduces to 13. And 13 plus 1 becomes a 4. So rather than the chaos of a digit 5, which is next year, it is the stable table.
Stable.
4.
Yeah.
And what do we see? Don't you feel that we are paying less attention to that? We're keeping touch with what's going on in DC for lack and worldwide.
Yeah, I always say in the external. Like I can't even.
Right. I like that. External. That's a great way to say it. So
this is my
that
vicinity.
external interaction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Keep a finger on the pulse, but don't make it part of your bloodstream.
Right. And in your vicinity, that's what I call where I'm sitting. I can barely get myself to focus around here to do the things I need to do. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't really need to leave the house. I really don't.
Well, Neptune
thank you.
Neptune put the brakes on.
Yeah.
He's direct, but did you notice?
Yeah.
All he's done is by putting his brakes on is sinking, pulling the anchor up from that retrograde. Mm-hmm. So he didn't go too far, right? And by pulling the anchor up, he's dragged the bottom of the ocean. He's brought the sand up and he's clouded things. Even the things that we're mostly clear about are a little bit cloudy. The things that we normally do, it's a little bit cloudy. We got to get the sand out of our eyes.
Yeah, and that's Neptune, right? That retrograde Neptune is like illusion, delusion. Am I here? Because we're straddling third dimension and higher. Yeah, and in any moment, you're floating up here, then you're crashing back down. And him being in retrograde kind of put us on that lull. You're just like, okay. But now that he's trying to go forward, there's no clarity. We're not near clarity yet.
Well, remember how long Saturn just stayed at 0 degrees. He's finally at 1 degree, but he still is in Neptune, moving very slow, and in Pisces rather, moving very slow. And Neptune is still in Pisces, and he's not going to move fast. He's at 24 degrees. Mm-hmm. He's going to pretty much be sitting there for a while.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, this is why it's like I'm trying to hurry up, right? But I'm not. I just seem so excited about Pluto going into Aquarius with the sun on
And
January
mm,
20th, and then 8 days later, the last planet in retrograde, which is Uranus, is going to go direct. So the beginning of February, it's free. We're going to have more understanding about what this time inside was. Our spirit teams are guiding us, is what's really going on. We're being guided onto our new path, and a lot of us are terrified about that. What is the new path? Like Diana's now doing Akashic reading. She does astrology. She does tarot. She does, so how do you put all these labels on, and what do you call yourself? It's,
soothsayer.
yeah, soothsayer. I love.
And that the funny thing was is down in the city at the store that I do my business face to face, I was running a special for the holidays and created some gift certificates, and it was $5 off the cost. And I said soothsayer special, and the owner of the store says, "Aren't you a little afraid that people aren't going to know what that word is?" I said, "I'm a school teacher. No, look it up." She said, "Well, I had to." I said, "Well, there you go. Did you learn something?"
Oh my God, you didn't know what it meant? I know. I'm leaning towards mystic. I mean, really, we're all psychic, intuitives,
Yeah,
empaths, mystics, readers,
but
healers.
I like soothsayer because I'm
I,
old world.
I like that for you. I do like it for you. It's a beautiful.
Sister Susie says.
Okay, I already lost one piece of paper. That's interesting.
That's an important piece of paper, right?
I probably was. So, what does SADS mean? And let me say this. Diana and I come on and we do the new moon, full moon, and special occasion astrology. We all have all 12 signs in our chart. All of this matters to you, whether you're Sagittarius or you're a Cancer. It doesn't matter. You have Sagittarius somewhere. And I don't think I ever really made that clear before. Um, well, here's the piece of paper I found. But Sagittarius is the prophet, is the seeker, is the seer, is the one who wants to keep moving. They don't stop moving. I know Diana never sits still. She can't. They can't. That Zoe, same thing. I know Zoe, my son has a Sag moon, can't sit down, but they're brilliant. They don't stop. Everything is a learning moment. There's
Yeah,
always something to learn. And being so close to the in Sagittarius, there's the great attractor and the galactic center, which are anomalies, space anomalies. Being so close to that brings in that higher vibrational information to people like that. Or, I mean, and just let's say you have just Sagittarius and Venus, but it's right next to one of those points. That's coming in for you. That brings that information, for its higher consciousness information in. And being the last new moon of the year, this is important because we need to dream big. We need to have this huge vision if we're going to ascend and really see what it is. We know what's coming, you know. But what does that mean? What's it mean to ascend? What are the details of that? That's what we're here to do, fill in those details. Hi Terry, I hold in your space.
hi.
I want to say hi to everybody. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Cat Mama, Warrior Girl, Zoe, Carolina, goodness, JR, I know you're here. MEJ, hi Bora Bora, had to go. Hi, Glow. Hi, Kelly Dozen Cats. Oh, goodness. I know
Oh, hi.
Lori Hunsinger's here. Hi, Lori. Maya's here. Um, and Teresa Levine's here. Thank you all for coming in and hanging with us. Your energy matters. And when you're here, it helps us raise that vibration to bring in this higher vibrational information for us all. It really does. Jupiter is the ruler of this new moon, rules Sagittarius. it doesn't get any bigger than Jupiter, except the sun. The ability to expand the vision, to open that third eye, to see that that what is it we want to see? What is it I want to see when Pluto goes back into Aquarius with the sun? What is that? What does that mean? Diane already said, we're not even looking at the external. We're in our vicinity. We're creating our own path. She's a soothsayer. I'm a mystic. Call yourselves whatever you want. We all have that ability, right? um I don't know. What is it you think we're going to see, Diana, as we go
I
further?
believe, well,
Hi, Karen.
I think we all understand that this is a coming together of community,
Yes.
because we're just saying Aquarius, just because that is a big part of what Aquarius is about. And I've said it before, it's not Pollyanna humanitarianism.
No.
It's humanitarianism for the betterment of all. As it was 250 years ago, when we saw so many uprisings and we saw what took hold and took effect. And it's not going to be an overnight, oh boy, here we go.
No.
Of course, there's still going to be some ups and downs along the way. But I think that by April, we're going to see a stabilization of the monetary system.
Yes.
Even though it's going to change, the changes are getting into play. Excuse me. But you can't just pull the rug out from everybody.
No.
That's a non-humanitarian effect.
Exactly. But don't you feel like there's already there's heart-centered, soul-centered, I don't want to call them systems, structures in place that are there to take so it doesn't become a hard crash. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but they can be deceiving because you have a comfort zone with those things.
Right.
Yeah. So many people follow a path that is filled with hypocrisy under the guise of speaking to the Lord, speaking in tongues.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know plenty of soothsayers that speak in tongues, but they're not claiming false prophets. And they're not trying to set, what's the best word? Terry, help me out. They're not trying.
Words.
Mercury's going retrograde. My mind is thinking, but my tongue can't get it out fast enough.
And let me say that before we go any further so you understand. Mercury goes retrograde tomorrow in Capricorn and goes back into Sag, all the way back. He doesn't come out of retrograde till January 1st, but he doesn't come out of shadow until January 20th. So this is kind of an extra long. I mean, the shadows are usually that long, but this is what happens. We can't find our words. We can't. Go ahead.
The good thing about this Mercury retrograde is that he goes back into Sagittarius, right? And he'll be going back into Sagittarius on the 23rd of this month, which is a good place for him to be because he's going to be talking to the Capricorn sun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because when he comes out of there, that's where he's headed, is back towards her. And he comes out of there on January what?
January 1st.
Yeah. So and on the 30th, we have
Jupiter coming out of
Jupiter, right. So all of these events are synchronized as well. Mm-hmm. And then we have 20 days later, Pluto going with the sun into Aquarius.
Oh, look what Terry wrote. Witnessing awareness. I love
Oh,
it.
love it.
Perfect. Thank you, Terry. I mean, it's this is what we're going to be doing. So this whole time period, what Diana's talking about, and I'm talking about when that 20th of January comes in, we're going to have so much more information. Retrogrades to me mean you don't have all the information yet. There's no reason to jump. There's no reason to go through hoops and break your neck trying to get something done. It is about take your time, breathe through it. And this whole winter was. I mean, really, I don't see us all. Not saying people aren't doing things. We're all doing things, but really going forward until that the 20th of
But,
January.
right. And we're just becoming into a phase where we can tell the days are starting to get a little longer, like 3 or 4 minutes. But the sense is it's like when, especially Mercury, but any planet when it's retrograde, it's an opportunity to iron out the wrinkles.
Yes.
And in the old days, which sometimes you still have to do, you have to sprinkle the fabric first because the steam from the iron is not enough by itself.
Mm.
So that retrograde is like in the 50s, what we used to do is sprinkle the laundry, the cottons especially. And back in those days, that was it. There wasn't polyester. We
Yeah.
wore pure cotton and pure linen. And
Linen.
we'd
Silk.
that and put it in the refrigerator to protect it so that it wouldn't mold, but also to help spread it out while it absorbed it. We would sprinkle it up with just regular water. There was a salt shaker top that was designed specifically
Yep.
to go on a glass bottle from a Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Knee-High or whatever your favorite soda was, pop. I'm back home in Michigan. It's called pop here, not soda like in Virginia. You know how long they had to train me to say soda? Now I got to retrain that. Anyway, we'd sprinkle it all up and roll it in a ball and stick it in the refrigerator. And plastic bag, no such thing. There wasn't
No.
plastic bags. Tupperware had just come into vogue, what, 1960? Just been invented.
It's
Everything was
crazy.
wax paper. Or even a
Oh
brown
my
paper
goodness.
bag, because brown paper, and how to press wool. You sprinkle a brown paper bag and lay it over the creases that my dad needed in his woolen trousers, slacks, to go to work or for Sunday church or to go to, holiday meal. So
Wow. What we've done in 50 years.
when
Wow.
I think about off topic, but I think about my grandmother's life, born in 1896 with a pot-bellied stove for heat and a cook stove in the kitchen that supplied it for the rest of the building.
Mhm.
And she went from that to central air. She went from Pony Express to telephones to internet. You
Mm.
know, can you imagine?
Wow.
From horse and buggy to automobiles. So she was a child of the innovation generation.
Mhm. And and the thing is, what I think what you're getting to is that there are times, and Mercury, any planet retrograde, brings us back to look. What did we miss? What detail did we miss? What didn't we iron out? Basically, right? And this is important though. This one because this is a Jupiter Sagittarius. Okay, brilliant. Bringing the prophecies in, bringing the downloads in. Mercury going retrograde at the same time. You don't want to get those signals mixed up.
Well,
You
and
know.
also with that, we have to think about how Sagittarius is the higher mind of
Hmm.
Gemini. Mercury controls Gemini, Mercury controls Virgo. And so I control rules those two signs. And
Hmm.
so that Mercury being able to go back into Sagittarius and influence the higher mind is not only about how that higher mind works to take it in, but how he works to get it out.
Right. It's important. What are you going
That's
to do
where
with it?
this,
Right.
right? That's where he's sprinkling the fabric.
Mm-hmm.
because when he goes forward again, he's going through all that shadow phase. That's when you run the iron over the fabric.
Mm. I love it. It's so important because we don't to jump right now unless you have all your ducks in a row. And if you do, God bless your soul. I don't know. I don't. I know
How did
I
you do it? Let us know.
but if you do, go for it. If you know in your heart and it makes your heart smile and it lights you up, then you go for it. But if you don't have that information, it's best just to take your time. Enjoy this month. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy your family. Listen, speak to your guides. You know, we all do that anyway. We're constantly um, having those conversations with our spirit team. There's something bigger coming than I think any of us really know. I think, a lot of astrologers can see it because it's not it's we've never been in this energy before, and
You
that's
said
about all
that.
you
I
can say.
forgot you're an astrologer.
But I mean, it is like you look at it and you go, "Wow, we never did this before. This has never happened in humanity on Earth in maybe thousands of years ago, but no time recent. So it's going to be powerful, and we are the front. We're the front line. We're the no shade on anybody because I believe this is going to be next year too is going to be huge awakening for those who don't understand that they're not connected to their heart yet. But for those of us who do, we're the front line. We're the ones who are going to create these new systems of being, and they hate that word, systems, new structures. It is all those old systems that were suppressing us, enslaving us, that's going away. And as like Dinah was saying, it can't just be gone like that and everybody suffer. That's not being um, kind to humanity. But as we go further, we're the ones who have to figure that out. We're the ones who got, well, how would we run money? How would that work? What does that look like? So in every aspect of our lives, there are people who are light workers, love workers, energy workers that are in, doing their part in their vicinity, right? Like all of us are. But wow, I mean, you could really create. I just see it as we're creating a whole, and we're creating a whole new way of being in a higher energy, and all of that energy is not here yet. But as we straddle the dimensions, we're getting used to it. It doesn't, well, we were going to talk about this, Diana, about how the ascension sickness, it's not as bad as it used to be, but it's a different kind of ascension
and
sickness.
and it's there. It's
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. I'm pretty sure you're feeling it.
Mm-hmm. No.
Aches and pains and joints and things that shouldn't be bothering me anymore, but recovery time is not quick. And that brings us to the new moon. What seeds are you planting? I'm going to start Datura seeds tonight.
Okay.
The night blooming morning glory.
Oh, cool. Oh, that is so cool. So that's what you're going to do your intentions with?
Mm-hmm.
The morning glory seeds. Now, see, that's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote mine down and I've already done a little thing, but I first released, and well, go ahead. You say what you're doing. That sounds a lot more
Well,
interesting.
Datura is not. They're the same plant, but the Datura is the one that blooms later for
Hmm.
sunset rather than morning. And I want to use it in um, dream salve.
So,
Like I'm making comfrey salve. I have to wait till the dandelions bloom again to make the dandelion salve. But the comfrey salve has been a pretty good success, and sold a few jars of it down at the store. So I'm feeling good about that. And it really works. It heals bones, it heals muscles, it helps you with your aches and pains, as well as because I use castor oil, it helps to move things in your body and all the properties that castor oil brings with it, with what comfrey does. I mean, they use comfrey in a hospital. You can get arnica and mixed with comfrey over the counter in the drugstore. In a hospital, they use comfrey to help heal bones. So it's not anything new. But most recipes that you find, people use olive oil. But I buy organic, pure castor oil because thanks to Valerie bringing it up one day, and my mouth going, oh my gosh, yeah, my ma used to always da 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 da. So what I like about the dandelion, the properties are pretty much the same as to what they do for your body in the way of healing and elimination and soothing pain, right? Yeah. Dandelion is a diuretic, so it helps to reduce the fascia, where comfrey has more of a warmth to it. In fact, it has a very chocolatey smell to it. So I add cinnamon essential oil because cinnamon also helps with anti-inflammation.
Right.
So those two properties together with the castor oil, that helps with antiviral, anti-inflammation, anti. They work together really well.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah, castor oil is my go-to for everything. And it really does work. I used it on Buddy all the time for he had pink skin, and that really helped for his ears or his eyes.
On a hot spot. You got
hot spots.
I mean, white-skinned dogs aren't the only ones that get them, but they get them a little more frequently.
Yeah.
Hot spots.
Yeah.
And to put that on, that helped tremendously. Gloria gave herself one just licking too much,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
but she has curly hair and it gets matted in between groomings because she has hair, not fur. She's a cockapoo. So it grows.
Okay, now see how Diana's like creating old but new ways of taking care of skin. Or
in the old days, they probably would have used baking fat. So,
Yeah, no, I'm not putting baking fat on my skin.
I mean, they didn't have that much access to coconut oil, right?
I know. No,
they had access to beeswax and they had access to back fat.
Oh man.
Pork fat.
Oh man. Well,
so
Jay just burned some cinnamon sticks after smudging today. Yeah, I smudged right before I came on. And I blew cinnamon. I did a little cinnamon wish. So that's kind of cool that you brought that up. And I have a cinnamon candle for us. We were going to do a grounding when we started. Of course, we both forgot, but we'll do it at the end.
Yeah, because look how well that went. Because we were having too much fun just before the camera went live.
I mean, to the ability to see that big picture, right? To see, okay, what would life look like in a higher dimensional reality? What do so that Sag, the Sag is a mystic, and where
the traveler, go to other nations, go to other cultures, go to how can you pull it all together and come back with wisdom and knowledge for yourself? The eternal student and the eternal gypsy at the same time.
And always.
And there's that ability to be humorous and generous, and because of its Jupiter rulership and being in the 9th house, and all of that all comes to meld together. He's opposite his air sign, which gives him plenty of room to breathe. And the opposite sign of that being Gemini, the rulership there is Mercury. Well, Mercury and Jupiter, aren't they brothers? So there's all this stuff that is going on this whole month that to clear out the end of this month.
Yeah.
Because yes, we still have a full moon coming in. That's on the 26th of December, Boxing Day.
Yeah. That's going to be a good one. So that'll be our last moon show for the year.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure everybody here has heard of a few. I can't say it right. Ophiuchus. Supposedly would be the 13th sign.
Oh, Osea.
I can't say it right.
Aphesius.
Ophiuchus. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, that's where the sun and the moon are conjunct right now. So that I was learning about. See, I say Ophiuchus. I don't know why. I don't know the actual way to pronounce the name, but he was a student of Chiron's, and he's also a healer, but he uses snake medicine. So
transmutation.
Yeah, just like the Scorpio, right? You could have the worst poison toxin there, but at the same time, in that poison toxin is the cure. So I think that has a lot to do with ascension symptoms too, like how we can really think outside the box, right? Like castor oil, just a basic thing we're talking about. But there's so many natural remedies that have gone to the wayside because of big pharma, profit over people. But go ahead.
You have a pharmacy in your kitchen.
Yes.
Already.
Yeah.
With baking soda and salt and pepper and all of your herbs. Yeah. Those are all medicinal. Oregano, it's an antibiotic.
Best one there is too. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have oregano oil pills. Anytime I even start to feel a little sinuses or anything, I take one of those. It clears it right away. But this is the way, even Mother Earth has everything we need. Everything we need to live, to survive, to thrive. It's just been hijacked from us, and we're taking that back, because she's the healer here, and we're the ones dreaming the new world into being. Just but it doesn't have to be like, sci-fi spaceships. I'm not saying that that's not coming through. Not saying that there's not ETs around, but we can utilize what Mother Earth has too to get us.
Well, and exactly, because they came here for what Mother Earth can provide, and gold wasn't the only thing.
Exactly. Thank you. So true.
It gave them a place to be able to go forth and propagate.
I mean, Earth is a hot.
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young already knew it. We are stardust. We are golden. Mm-hmm. We are billion-year-old carbon, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden. So
look at that. I love it.
It's true. They already knew it.
True. Yeah.
So the rest of this week, tomorrow we have Mercury stationing retrograde at I'll still be up crocheting because I got to get this blanket done. And it's almost done. I've only got 2 skeins left. I got to finish that because it's so big now, but I want it to be long enough for my son to be able to use it. And he's 6'3", so it's extra long. And so at 2:00 this morning is when Mercury stations. But he has already slowed down and put the brakes on. And then we have, on the 16th, we have the sun squaring Neptune, a moving Neptune. However, he'll still be at 24 degrees. So that sun is going to be giving us a lot of reflection with that square.
We got Neptune square and a new moon. I forgot all about that.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's coming out of the illusion delusion, but then going, okay, wait a minute, what's real, what isn't real, where am I going?
Right, we are not. This is a new moon. We don't have reflection on the water right now, and the water is murky alone, let alone being part of the void in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that as well. And then on the 18th, we have Mercury and Jupiter in a trine.
Nice. That's going to be good.
Right. And those little nuances, I give 3-degree orb with Mercury and Jupiter. I give 4, even 5 sometimes, depending
Right.
on the signs, but an orb on either side of that. Because especially since Mercury is retrograde,
Mm-hmm.
Jupiter's not that fast of a moving planet.
Mm-mm. Well, and Jupiter's in retrograde too. So
Mm-hmm.
this is an interesting conversation they're going to be having. But we're not going to know what comes of it until everybody's going direct again around the 1st, well, or later.
Well, a little bit later, but yeah,
Yeah.
before you know it,
Yeah.
no one will be retrograde.
That's okay. We're going to
And
enjoy
how many
life.
years has it been since that has really happened? I
What?
think maybe we had a brief moment last summer where nobody was retrograde, but it was brief. Because didn't Venus go retrograde in the summer last year?
Yeah, she went retrograde in August. I think I think, hasn't it been the last few years where it's been February, March, April, then as soon as the eclipse comes in, then the retrograde start again. Now that's going to be a powerful April this year.
That's why, right, because
This is where we're changing.
this is why I think that there's going to be a stabilization financially for us in April, when we have that first eclipse in April.
Mm. Yeah, because it's with Jupiter. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead again. But Jupiter and Uranus are both in Taurus. Okay, April begins Taurus season, and the April 20th they'll be conjunct on an eclipse. I'm pretty sure it's on the eclipse, but it's powerful. Jupiter
20th.
and Uranus together in Taurus, how to make manifest magic on Earth. Now that's pertaining to the people who have been working their path, working their energy, and working spirit. Those who haven't been are going to hit those walls. That's where it's going to starting to get, the shocks coming in for, not that they haven't been here, but this is really the time for everybody to start to wake up. And spirit doesn't do it like in a vindictive way. It is just, this is how many, I know I had to go through quite a few dark nights of the soul to get it, right? To get what in the hell was going on with me. But that's going to be a powerful month. So it's a fascinating year. Now it happens to be an election year, so the external is going to be squawking off till November. But if you're focusing in on yourself, you're not going to go wrong. Your team is there, help guiding you.
Right.
I'm sorry.
The Capricorn, in April. The solstice, and we have Saturn direct, and so
I forgot about the solstice. That's going to be really cool. What are you feeling for the solstice, winter solstice? Still being.
Something happens to me when it turns into winter, and I believe that when I came to this planet for the first time, that I was a Sami in Lapland, in Scandinavia, and was a deer herder centuries ago, when the reindeer covered the northern hemisphere.
Wow.
And in fact, Allie and I have a show coming up doing Elena the Trods. And so I'll dwell more on that then. But I love the dark. And I don't know why. I love staying up late no matter what time of the year it is. I love waking up when it's dark. And during the summer, that's hard to do. Then I wouldn't be sleeping at all, especially when I lived in the Upper Peninsula on the longest day of the year. But, I I just become this. That's when my Sagittarius moon takes over, and that just stands to reason because it's the Sagittarius time of the year. Things are lined up with the sun lines up with the galactic center at 27 degrees.
I love that day. It's one of my favorite days.
Um, and I'm always in the woods, so
Mm-hmm.
the kitchen can look like, I don't know, look like the Midnight Kitchen from that old story from Maurice Sendak. The Midnight Kitchen, my stuff gets piled up, but I got to get out into the woods.
Mm. I mean, I love wintertime just to relax, to go inside. So I guess it's what you're saying. The same thing is you just take that time to really.
But I love to be cold.
Hi, Ruby Red Slippers.
It's not just that time of slowing down and reflect. I love to be in the woods. I love to be in the cold. The cold doesn't bother me. My body feels better in the cold than it does when we're hot. And everybody's going, what? But that's how I feel. I mean, I
love how Ruby Red Slippers has a birthday on the solstice.
Yes, she does.
And Lori Hunsinger is saying, I keep hearing it it's an inside job and stay in the now. Don't look outside of yourself. Go deeper inside the compassion. I forget I can put these up here, guys. Forgive me. Kindness and love ourselves. Absolutely.
Love that. Lori, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It's so important. Warrior Girl cured her son by feeding him oregano on everything. So true.
So true.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing with Sag moons. They like to be up all night. They like the dark. They like that and learn and constantly. They don't really sleep a lot. I know my son doesn't really sleep a lot. He doesn't need a lot of sleep. Like some people I need 10 hours. Some people need 5.
What is that?
Yeah. It's like the Hermit card. And Warrior Girl, what did you say? The Strength card was for 2024? I believe that was what it was. It's just so freaking. I don't know if everyone else feels it. It's like we're on the precipice of something just taking off.
It's grown old and stale and overused. Love yourself before you can love anyone else. Okay. Terry had a guest on the other day who was phenomenal. I mean, she really was. And she had so many insights as to, that just gets overused, right? Mm-hmm. We have to do all of that. It doesn't mean we have to love the whole world. It means that they're going to want to be around us because with what I'm not talking narcissist, another overused word. Right. I'm not talking that. I'm talking because that's not loving yourself. That's not caring for yourself. But when you love yourself properly, you automatically love others.
That's right. And it vibrates out of you. Right. It actually, and this is what brings in harmonious relationships. You vibe at that higher vibration with somebody. I know it's an overused word, but it is so true, though. I don't ever recall being shown or told to love myself. It took me almost 50 years to figure it out. It wasn't like I wasn't told and it was bad. It was just assumed that you care for others. You care for others and don't worry about yourself. It was never talked about like that.
Right.
It's so important right now because our teams are showering us with love. I'm sure all of you can feel it. Like your team is just around you, just vibrating this love onto us. bringing in that joy. Hi, Morella, and contentment. It's not. I don't even know how to explain this. Energy is just so beautiful. Like you can feel it coming in, and it's not about anything but helping everyone on Mother Earth raise in vibration, so we can all live in peace and harmony. And I can't tell you how many people tell me, "Oh, you get your heads out of the clouds, get real."
Yeah.
But I'm serious. There's so many more people awakened just since COVID, how we all met each other. To me, we're just at the front end of the front line of this amazing transformation that's taken place.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. And here we are okay, and that's another thing about Sagittarius. They will jump the timeline. They will go higher. That's the
Oh,
whole point, the arrow, right?
it's like storming the beaches at Normandy on D-Day, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, let's go, let's go. They're centaurians. They have 4 legs. They have all the power that you need. They're horsepower.
Horsepower. They rule the thighs. Sagittarius rules the thighs, right? So that ability to keep going, and they don't get tired. They really don't. Um, oh, look at Ruby Red. We'd be lost without you,
Uh,
beautiful.
Elizabeth, we love you.
Yes. And so we have Saturn at 1 degree. Saturn's changing the systems and restructuring the whole thing. That's who's really helping us. Neptune and Saturn in Pisces is going to get
Mm-hmm.
us through. But this again, bringing in those higher visions, really focusing in on them when we're, especially if you're having a bad moment, right? And that happens a lot with ascension symptoms, sickness.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Well,
instead of going into the hole with that, think of what does that world look like to you? What do you want to see? Put those details in. That's
right.
what I keep hearing.
So what you should, if you know your chart, if you have your chart, look at the house that you have Sagittarius in,
Yes.
because we have Ceres and we have Mars at 13 degrees. We have the Sun and Moon conjunct at 20 degrees, and we have Vulcan at 23 degrees. So that's quite a stellium of power and strength.
Yeah.
Power and strength. So what house does that Sagittarius fall for you? What planets do you have? How do they compare? Where that stellium in the sky is lighting up what is in your Sagittarian house, that is the house that you're going to have things to deal with. That's what's
Mhm.
showing you where to go, what to do. My Sagittarius just happens to fall in the second house and into the third. Excuse me. The beginning of the third.
Elizabeth, thunder thighs, please, Elizabeth. You
Thunder
don't
thighs.
have
Come on, girl. Just go out there and stretch them thunder thighs. That's where all the power is. So, yeah, my moon is lit up by the Ceres at 7 degrees, and the Mars had just gone over it. So last week I was getting stuff done left and right. These first couple of days this week, it's like one thing at a time is basically all I'm getting done. It took me
Yes.
2 loads of laundry because I had to keep fluffing.
Yeah, it's a struggle. I'm telling you, the
Yeah.
struggle is real. I'm like, what do you want me to do? I can't get nothing
Well,
done.
and it's the holidays, so this just kind of fits in because here I am in the third house with my Sagittarius and my Vesta, at 20 degrees. So what do I want to do in my third house? Decorate. Because I communicate through decorations. And I'm
Mhm.
very excited this year because I was the only one who decorated on this block when I moved in. There were no other Christmas lights put up.
Well, they are now, right?
Yeah, they are now. The street is
See?
lit up almost. I won't say all the houses, but of 14 houses, there's 8 of them that are lit up, and we still have time.
We still have time. And this is another thing with the 1212 portal. Our DNA is being upgraded. Our all of our energies are. I got this. It's getting upgraded. Will enable us to receive the knowledge that is going to be important for the journey ahead. Yeah, see, we got a lot of information coming in. I wanted to bring this up for, well, let me just say this one. Hold on. Sagittarius is the sign of optimism, high visions, freedom, higher learning. This begins a new emotional cycle infused with Neptunian energy of compassion. This is a time of setting new intentions related to our spiritual learning adventure and new experiences. That's not why I come on here. Do you guys collect pine cones? Because there's this little thing that you do around this time of year, solstices. I'm sure I'm not the one who thought of it. In fact, I'm looking at. I've done it though, where I put little pieces of paper. You can write on bay leaves and stick them in the little pine cones, right? And really does work. Brings in a lot of abundance or whatever it is you're calling for.
Mhm.
Like that one said clarity and focus. And I was about to say, well, I don't know if that one worked so well, but I didn't burn it yet. So,
Well, and then when you get that pine cone filled up, you throw it in the fire.
yeah, throw it in the fire. So
You
cool.
can you can make, like, I grow mullein and I make candles out of that. And I have one to use for solstice. This is not the one I made though. I'm still in the process of figuring how exactly the best way to go about this. But I've got the stuff.
Got the stuff.
And well, and I've
Yeah.
got a first coat of wax on a couple of things, but it's got to be built up more than that. And so, anyway, taking pine cones and just dipping that bay leaf in a little bit of wax and smearing
Mhm.
it from the bay leaf till put it inside there, and then dripping burnable wax over that. And if you're going to be able to do this outside, to throw the pine cone into a bonfire
Oh,
so that
that sounds so
really
fun.
flares up.
That
And
sounds so
you
cool.
know, acorns, you might still find a few around, but acorns on the windowsill, those are also for good luck. 3 of them. And if you get 9 hazelnuts in a shell, line them up on a windowsill at all as well. That's for wisdom.
Bye, Lori. Sorry.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
I'll
you got
see
to
you
go to
over
that
there.
too. Yeah, you got to go to that. I know. And she's doing the 9 candles starting tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's for Nancy Jean. And
Yeah,
Nancy will come in and
abundance.
sing that.
I love this.
Yeah.
It's Elizabeth, this is great. Yes, we get to upgrade in with the sweets in the upgrade.
I just hated ice cream before I came on.
Well, I've been the cookie monster. I have to rebake molasses and I have to add more to the peanut butter cookies and
I mean, it is what it is. It's a holiday season. We're gonna go through it in the way we want to. And
yes.
chocolate ice cream seemed to be talking to me. So, but yeah, that pine cone that's a lot of fun. Nancy Jean's doing 9 candles, but there's so much you can do tonight. Even just writing it out. Write out what your biggest dream and wish is. This is the time to wish under Sagittarius new moon for your big dream, for your I mean, put it in detail. Put it
Right.
in detail. Make sure you clear anything that might be blocking that first. Burn that piece of paper, write that out. Anything holding you back from, I've been working on a lot of this unworthiness, not feeling like I can do anything. And every moon cycle, I just write it out and burn it again and keep showing up. I mean, that's all we can do.
Right.
And say instead, I want to I'm going to show up and I'm going to speak how I feel, what my heart says, and you know, be here with all these beautiful souls. I'm so very grateful that all of you came to visit with us.
Yeah.
Yes, make sure it's in the present tense. Exactly.
There
Exactly,
you go.
Elizabeth. Mhm.
I present you with the presents that I got you. And don't forget yourself in that.
That's right. Yeah. That's the biggest gift we have is the present moment. And most people don't live there. They're stressing about the, future anxiety or the past where you're in depression. I think a lot of us here have worked out of it, but I mean, it still sneaks up on us in any moment. And it's just knowing that. Take yourself right back to the present. Put your hand on your heart. Say you love yourself. You know, your body really responds when you put your hand on your heart and you say, I love you. I mean, it really makes your heart smile.
Yes, it does. It does.
Mm.
What else do we have? We've got
What else
got to
do
look at that blue black moon Lilith in Leo, who's retro. So she's got a few things to say.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she's
Well,
kind of in a quincunx there with Pluto, so it's that fine tuning.
I love, but she just helps. She does make us aware of our fears, okay? And we have that. What I love is the Venus and Pale Athena conjunct in Scorpio,
Oh
because
yeah,
any fears you do have, Venus is in Scorpio is burning them to the ground with Pale Athena, because Pale Athena is the goddess of wisdom. Now she's a warrior goddess, but she uses strategy.
right. And right now Venus is also a warrior goddess because she's
Hmm.
the morning star. And
Hmm.
so we've got that, and directly across from them, and close, is Jupiter at 6 degrees in opposition. He's still retro and they're going forward. So it's an orb, but that still is, he wants to give, 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 and they're showing him where they can't. Where
Yeah,
you've
but I
got
like your
where you've got to put your or put your guard up, you know.
hmm
So how do those things light up your chart?
right. But Jupiter though would help. I think on the good side of an opposition with Jupiter opposing those two would give them the strength, the ability to go higher, right?
Right, but this is like, make sure you have plenty of guardianship,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
he's in Taurus. He's standing firm. That's your he.
Mm,
I don't want to call him the foundation. I want to call him the wall around your castle,
mm,
and they're inside.
mm. Nice.
So
I
it
like
is. It's putting up the boundaries, making sure that you have things set in place.
I like that. That North Node and Chiron are getting closer together. What do you
Yes.
think? What do you feel about that? Now, the North Node is where we're headed, right? But Chiron is hanging out there for those. I don't know if we ever fully heal, but helping us to heal, to go forward. What do you look at that as?
It is. It's a. The way forward is to make adjustments where you have to.
Yes. Yeah.
And part of those adjustments is letting go of what no longer serves your purpose, of the things in the South Node, of the Libra South Node that is searching for balance. And if you are a person who has an Aries North Node and a Libra South Node, you are being shown what it is that serves your purpose and what it is you've been through and where you can make the changes. And if you're a person who has a Libra North Node and an Aries South Node, well, you're conjunct the opposite, completing a whole circle. It's like, okay, adjustments have made going forward from here. Moving forward from here, because now you're in a complete circle.
Right. Oh, thank you, Zoe. Where'd she go? Zoe said thank you for the conversation. She's so sweet. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Good night. And the thing with that North Node, because it's an Aries North Node, and it's the collective. So that's the collective, but I am. Aries is yourself, right?
Well, and I have
Aries. Go ahead.
I have an Aries North Node, and it's in the 7th house.
Mm-hmm.
Putting my South Node in Libra in the 1st house, because that's my rising sign.
Right. Yeah, it's hard. That's a hard one. I have that same thing. I have the anyway. But the as we go forward with this Aries North Node this time around as a collective, and we all become stronger inside of ourselves and more having that confidence and belief in ourselves on this next part of the path. And I mean, that's really cool that you have it. You have that in your 7th house. That is you being out here doing all these things you're doing, right?
Yes.
I think it's really cool. So we all have it somewhere where the North Node, this transiting North Node, is showing up.
Yes. We're sitting in such a, you said it earlier, it's a precipice. We are on the verge of.
We are. So cool. It's so cool. And let's just top it off with Mars is right there with the sun and the moon, where he's a 7-degree orb, and he's
going forward. He's going forward.
But he's trailing. So this kind of gives us the indicator, right? If you're feeling that need to jump, but you don't have all your ducks in a row yet, think about Mars behind the moon and the sun, and he's just going to keep lagging behind. It's not time for him to go forward. He's going forward, but he's going at a slower pace. He's really taking in everything that is coming into his awareness. Take your time. I know we say this every month, but really, this is the last month of the year, the last new moon of the year, and it's just not time to jump yet. But we're getting there. We're gaining more information and wisdom.
Right.
This is ancient wisdom too. This is powerful ancient wisdom. We're remembering.
I can't remember what day it is because I didn't write it down. Didn't write the date, but we're going to have Mercury parallel the sun. So watch out for mixed messages coming through at that time. You know, we should also be starting to see the end of some of the health matters for some of us.
Yeah.
Okay. Depending on how that Jupiter and Mercury alignment showed up for you in your chart. That was back on the 7th.
Right.
Compensation. We are going to have Mercury is going to meet Mars. And I should have looked that up. I think that's going to be a very big time as Mercury is going backwards towards Mars. And they're going to have this big conversation. Do you have the date on that?
I don't. Oh my goodness. That's going to be interesting. Okay. So when they do meet, okay, which we'll say about maybe a week or 2 weeks out.
Yeah, a week and a half, I would think.
Yeah. What do you think they're going to now? See, this is another thing. Mercury's going back to say, Mars, look, this is going on. You know, to take your time. So Mars kind of knows this, so instinctively.
Right, and it depends on what house it is for you personally, as to how this is going to, what you have to tend to.
Well, in this chart,
but for the world. Let me just look at those transits because I did put an exact time on it because of looking at the new moon. So if we do this figure it's going to be a week before they, at least a week and a half, till they get together. It may still show up in the fifth house of
That's what I'm
Leo
getting.
roaring, or
Mhm.
just go over the cusp in the sixth.
So it's got something to do with your heart, definitely. The
Heart and
heart's always involved, and then the healing, right?
mhm.
So,
And that could very well have something to do with health as well,
hmm
especially if it falls into the sixth house of Virgo. And so, watching for heart issues, the conversation could be the healing of, the medicine to take, or bringing it to light,
mm,
depending on, all the variables that can come in your chart. But that is something to watch for.
it is. Do you want to pull a couple cards?
Yes.
I pulled celebration. We're in December. A positive outcome is assured. Celebrate your success. Enjoy your achievement. So that to me tells us that raising ascension is a success. We're just going forward. We're in for the ride. We're here. We've been here. And then I got abundance. These are unicorn
Nice.
flavors. I know, I'd be so cute. And it
Uh,
says, enjoy the beauty of life. Your supply is unlimited. Blessings are coming to you. And I
well,
believe that. We got a good month coming.
what was I just talking about?
Oh
Boundary.
no. Well, I can't see.
Jupiter and Venus in the Pali Athena.
Uh-huh.
Boundary, right?
Boundaries. So important.
And friendship.
Oh. Oh.
Be aware of who you let in.
Ugh. That is the truth. Yeah. All right. Well, we love you, and we will see you on the full moon on December 26th.
Yep. And then
And
we'll probably do 3 shows in January then.
at least January is the big.
Pluto, right? Yeah, January is going to be heating up.
Yeah. And everybody have a beautiful, magical holiday season. Be safe. Take your time. Breathe. Enjoy it. Really enjoy your moments. There's no reason to rush anymore. And there's no reason to rush right now. Do you think so?
No, pass out compassion even to yourself.
Aw, that's beautiful.
No, there's no, nothing's going to change fast. The
No.
wheel, everything rolls slow.
Yeah.
Even
And,
getting an appointment at a new doctor.
and you can see Diana with Terry holding your space on Friday.
Yes.
Friday?
And
What time?
Allie on who am I with? Tomorrow is Wednesday, so it's Dream Detective.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thursday on with Allie as well for mediumship. And then Friday with Terry, and then on the 18th with Allie doing a show on Elena the Trots.
Nice. And she does. And Diana's also doing Akashic Records readings with John
Yeah,
and Val.
which is why everything got so discombobulated. I didn't know I was supposed to be in 2 places at once. And I it's probably my own fault because I didn't think about Tuesday being the new moon. And of course, Val and I have a standing date for the moons. So I apologize, Val, Dragonfly Crystals. I apologize because I was supposed to be there too.
No. So she's going to be there next Tuesday for sure.
Yes.
All right, y'all. We love you. Magical, magical holiday season. Be the love you are.
Divine white light fall upon us.
Oh, Let's,
So,
I'm gonna, yeah, let's do that.
oh, you want?
Yes.
Okay. One very quick. Right?
Okay.
Please place us in a steady stream of divine white light, the white light of divine guidance and grace. Then wrap Michael's blue bubble of protection around us that shrinks to fit as we step into the healing teal green orb of Raphael that floats and shares and spreads and transfers the divine white light, the white light of divine guidance and grace, so mote it be.
And so it is. We love
Blessings.
you.
Love to you all.
See you
Blessings.
next time. Love you. Oh, thank you, Diana.